Hey everyone, I'm back with another video today, and I have invited my friend who's also an ESL teacher or EFL teacher here in Vietnam, and she's gonna share her experiences as well as, regrets if there were any, and any tips for those who would want to come here.
What a experience.
Ladies and gentlemen,
Ladies and gentlemen, boy, one viewer naman. Hello everyone. Hello Tita, our one viewer for today's video.
Alright, so without further ado, let's get into it. First question, what is the square root of...
Patay na guys. That's all for today's video.
So, how long have you been here?
I've been here for 6 years already.
Wow, so what made you decide to come here?
No, just my friends invited me to come here. So I'm curious as to what Vietnam looked like and how would it feel living away from your parents, like really far in another country. And I don't have any idea about Vietnam that time, so I want to explore.
Yeah.
And work also, because they told me that the salary here is much better. So
Right. Yeah.
then I just said yes to them and followed what needs to be done,
And you're
got
here.
and I got it.
Yeah, right.
I passed the immigration questions and I'm here as a tourist, and now I've been here for 6 years.
I really want to ask about, the immigration process, because recently it has been like a trending issue. These offloading IO horror story. I mean, there are lots of them, but would you like to talk about it? Like, how was it?
It was actually difficult for me because it was my first time traveling to a different country. And my friends have been here. The problem there was it was my first time traveling, and so I didn't know the itinerary. I didn't know where we were going.
So you didn't prepare those things? I mean, those are like...
No, like really no. I just, answer what was asked of me. And then the immigration officer asked me, what if your friends will leave you behind? And I said, I don't think so, because they're my friends. I trusted them. This is my first time to travel, and blah, blah, blah.
Wow.
After that, I passed. So the immigration officer put stamped my passport.
Wow, that was
And
quick.
then I actually said, yes. I did. I didn't know that there is another IO waiting before you actually pass.
So there is like a double screening or something?
I think that was the final screening out there. It was just lucky of us because there's one person seated there who is actually writing his itinerary. And so the immigration officer asked us questions like where we are from, why is it that our tickets were not booked on the same date, where is our return ticket to our provinces, because we are from, others are from Cebu, I am from Mindanao. And so why is it that our return flight is only in Manila? Good thing that we were quick to think about reasons. Like my friends would say that they would be going to Baguio for a trip, and then I would be staying in Manila in my aunt's place, and then the immigration officer asked us about our jobs. And good thing at that time I was working as an online ESL teacher, so I told the officer that I can just work anywhere as long as there's an internet connection.
Oh,
and then after that, so we were let go by the immigration officer, and my friends told me that the next time you should not do that, because the immigration officers might think that you have
like an intention
right
of working.
Right, exactly.
Okay.
But our flight was actually not to Vietnam, it's to Hong Kong.
Oh, alright.
And then when we arrived in Hong Kong, we booked our flight to Vietnam. So our round trip ticket was Manila, Hong Kong, Hong Kong, Manila. Right.
Oh, right.
So it's not a direct flight to Vietnam. So when we arrived to Hong Kong, that's the time that we booked our flight to Vietnam.
Wow.
Yeah. So that was the plan that we had.
Oh my, really? I didn't know about that.
But we stayed in Hong Kong for like 3 days.
But you basically went there as tourists as well.
Yes,
so you
true.
really have the intention of going and visiting the places
Yes.
as tourists, right?
Yes, yes.
And then it's also an advantage if you travel by group.
Yes,
Like,
exactly.
I heard like it's better.
With friends who also
friends,
had the
right.
experience of traveling.
Traveling, yeah.
Because if all of you were first timers, it'd be difficult to answer lots of questions. Me, I didn't need to answer a lot of things. My friends will answer it for me. Because, like, really, guys, I didn't know about our itinerary. Where are we going? Like, I just booked the flight because my friends like told me maybe 3 days prior to our flight or 4 days prior to our flight, you have to book the flight. This is the flight that we booked, so you have to book it, and after that,
That's why you had separate bookings.
Right, you have to prepare these documents before we go to blah 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 blah. And so I didn't have the time to study because other people
You have to study.
other
Yeah.
people, right? They have to study.
I did, yes.
You did. So in my case, I don't know. I just answer, and if you lie,
You're
you have
so
to make
lucky.
sure that you remember your lies because
And you can justify it.
exactly. So you have to be a quick thinker. Like you have to make sure that your brain works fast. That whenever they ask you questions, you're quick to answer. But that was the first time, and then my friends told me, "Don't worry, when you arrive in Hong Kong, there will be no questions asked. So you have to relax now.
Relax,
You just have to worry about leaving the country."
So how long did it take you to actually get hired here when you came to Vietnam? Was it like a difficult process for you looking for a job or finding an employer?
It wasn't because my friends were already working here in Vietnam. So like they
alright.
were really my guide. So they told me, okay, we are going to apply here. So we applied in the same school. We worked together. So actually it wasn't that difficult. Maybe I stayed here for 3 days, roaming around Vietnam, Hanoi.
3 days?
Yeah.
And you found a job?
Yeah, and then after that, while we are staying in Hanoi for 3 days, we were meeting some of our friends. We were, touring around Hanoi, and at the same time also applying for a job, sending resumes, and then luckily we were called by one of the ESL centers in Nam Dinh City, and then all of us 4 were hired in the same center.
Right, I see.
Yeah, but after that it was a difficult time, a struggle for me, not for them, because I had to be separated from them, and it was difficult for me since
So I thought it was the same employer. Was
same
it the
employer but different branches.
All right.
Same company but different branches. So I told the owner that it would be okay for me to teach anywhere as long as I will be with my friends. I mean, one of my friends. She said yes, so I signed a contract, but then after that I was separated by them. And then the struggle started because I don't know anything about Vietnam. I didn't know any words. That's the first struggles that you will have. I didn't have any friends because Nam Dinh is very far. It's a province.
Yeah.
And it was even in the outskirts of Nam Dinh. It's not in the city. So it was difficult for me. I didn't know how to communicate to people. I was adjusting to the classes because it's a different style from the one you had in the Philippines. So.
Yes. It wasn't your first time to be an ESL teacher, right? Because you've been
Yeah.
teaching there. But what was different about it? Like when you compare the job that you had in the Philippines to what we have here in Vietnam, was it in any way different or similar? Or just
It's a little different for me because I was a one-on-one teacher. In the Philippines, I had to only focus on one student.
it's easy to manage.
Yes,
right?
and
You
then-
don't need classroom discipline.
Exactly. And then they are also mature because they're teenagers, workers. So you don't need to tell them to, sit down and keep quiet. They're not rowdy. Because their intention is really to study, to take a test, to pass the test, to get promoted from their job. So the willingness to study is really there.
Right.
There's a reason.
There's like an intrinsic motivation, right?
Right.
Compared to the students that we have. here.
Exactly. And then, aside from that, I am also focused on one skill. Right? So if it's speaking, I just teach speaking all the way.
Oh, that is so much easier. I think
Yes.
you're focused
Here,
on
it's like you are a teacher in the Philippines. You know, you teach everything from speaking to reading to listening,
skills,
right?
right.
All the skills. But there, I have to like for this student, she only wants to improve her speaking ability. So you have a speaking book for her. This student would like to improve her listening, so you will teach her listening all the way. And then grammar. So you will be studying grammar all the way. It's like that there. So it's a little different. It's a little different because here I have I need to have classroom discipline. What is it?
And you have all sorts of responsibility, just like a classroom
Yes,
teacher.
exactly. I didn't have any experience when it comes to classroom setting really in the
Yeah,
Philippines because I didn't have a chance to work in a school setting in the
Yeah.
Philippines. So it was difficult, but then you wanted to work here. You don't have a choice,
That's
but
right.
you have to adjust. You have to adapt. Right.
Eventually it's easy to adapt, really.
Right. During the first few days, it was a struggle because you have to make your voice will be gone. And at the same time, guys, I didn't know their language, and so in the classroom, the students are speaking their language. You don't know how to respond to them, so you will sort to understanding through facial expressions, body language, really. So that's the struggle, and then.
The thing is, we had TAs. Did you have TAs?
Yes,
before?
we had, but then at that time the TAs actually did not do anything because the kids are already older, maybe about 8 or 9, so they actually don't need TAs to stay in the class.
I
So
see.
TAs will just go there, check on you from time to time, but not really stay there for the whole class. And aside from that, you have to prepare games.
Yes.
Right, students are not allowed to get bored in the class.
They're not allowed because you would get a complaint and they would
Right.
always say they're bored. That's
Right.
that's like a vocabulary
That they learn first.
learned.
But it's different from the Philippine setting because we are not that vocal to tell our teachers that we are bored in the class. When you're studying. When you're playing, I couldn't remember playing inside the class during our times, right? But here you have to create games and
Because if they don't get excited with how you teach,
Your
they're
class
gonna
is boring.
complain. Yeah, it's you're boring. You're a boring teacher, and thus
Right.
you're not an effective teacher. That's how they define being an effective
Yes.
teacher here. Like, you have to be exciting. You have to have a lot
You
of
have to be
things,
funny. You have to be a clown.
Yeah, you have to be very active and animated, and sometimes you just can't have all those energy like all the
Yes.
time. You cannot keep up with,
Especially if
know?
you will teach for 4 hours, 5 hours. My God, guys.
Correct.
Your
And it's
energy will you need to charge yourself, recharge yourself.
Right.
Aside from that, also the way I talk, because I talk so fast, and at that time students were having a hard time understanding me because I'm not used to slowing
down, like speaking at a particular
Yes,
pace,
yes,
like
so-
a very slow pace.
I didn't know that, so I was actually a little bit frustrated that my students couldn't understand me. But it's because they're beginners.
Yeah.
No, and I was thinking that they could easily understand English because that was what my students were like when I was teaching in the Philippines. And so I was struggling how to adjust my pacing.
It's so difficult to actually simplify the words that are already
Exactly.
simple for you.
Teacher, what is understand?
Right.
Right? For example, how would you describe understand?
How would you define that? I mean, in simple terms, right? So that's
What
one.
is see? What is see? Right?
Right. Yeah.
It's difficult. But then eventually, of course, you'll get the hang of it. Outside the class, you will struggle also living in the community.
Yeah, that's one thing that I want to ask you about. Like during your first week here in Vietnam, aside from the language, interacting with the locals, because you can't help it, you have to talk to them. Like whenever you go to the market
Yes,
or whatever,
yes.
you can't help it. You need to have that interaction. Aside from that, what other things or other struggles that you've had, living in Vietnam?
The food, because I'm not used to eating vegetables. So when I arrived in Vietnam, the first food that was offered to me by my friends is the fried rice, komzang.
Komzang, yes.
Then komzang has vegetables in it, and I'm not used to eating large.
But it's already fried.
Yeah, but I'm having a hard time eating carrots and green beans.
Just a trivia, any meals, even if you go to KFC,
Right.
they would have like a side dish of lettuce or tomatoes or cucumber. So it's always present.
It was a struggle for me. So, I actually separated the vegetable and the rice because remember, guys, that we were in Hong Kong and we didn't eat rice for 2 days or 3 days. We were just eating chicken, and then or noodles when we were in Hong Kong. And then when we arrived here, I wanted to eat rice, and I was separating the vegetables and the rice. And then my friends were like, it will take you forever to be able to eat, and so they told me, you eat this, and I said, what's that? I don't want to eat something I'm not familiar of. I'm not that adventurous when it comes to food. And then
it's not that we are being picky, it's just normal. It's a normal reaction, I would say, when it's something new. Of course you couldn't eat it like if you don't know what's in it. It's not being maarte in some sense, because other people would think that, oh, you're so maarte, you don't eat that.
Did you go dato, guys? Pero I'm picky. I mean, because
there's already a picky eater in the Philippines. So.
Because I normally travel in the Philippines, and you don't need to adjust to the food. When we were traveling in Hong Kong, we were just eating chicken, and those are familiar food already. Then when we came here, the food looks different, and so that was my struggle. And so you know what? The first thing I ate when I came here is the sausage, suksik.
Suksik.
I had 2 suksik.
That's the most familiar.
And that's enough because it looks like hot dog, right? In the Philippines. And then that's it. The next day, we were eating banh mi.
Banh mi, yes. But
it was so hard. I have some bruises on my gums, so I don't want to
really scratch your
gums, no?
Your gums and your palate.
And then there were lots of vegetables in it, and then there was coriander.
I hate that. Yes,
there was
I don't
coriander,
like the smell.
And I'm like, no, I cannot eat this. So I did not have any meal. I didn't have any breakfast. And then we had the next day, they want me to try pho.
Yes.
And then
it also a lot. It's loaded with cilantro or coriander, right?
And then
so
my friend forgot to tell the lady that I don't want to eat any vegetables, right? But then
it's gonna be loaded up with spices.
Yes.
No, herbs and spices, right?
I just had soup. But I'm not really a fan of noodles, really. And then, so I was not very appreciative. The taste is very different from Filipino food.
Yeah.
So that was the struggle when it comes to food. Next is when I was separated from my friends, I had to cook for myself.
Yes.
And then when I go to the market, I don't know how to say the numbers because I was still new here. Yeah. So do you know what I do, guys? I know that this is 500,000. This is a big money. I have 200 and I have 100. So I always pick, the biggest amount, and I give it to the lady.
So you don't have to talk how much. Like you don't have to ask how much.
I don't know how. I just wait for the change, and that's it. And then until such time that I don't have, was it 500 or 200? I have just 50 or 20. You know what I do? I just give them all my money and let them pick the money. Let them pick how much do I need to pay. Good thing, but in the province, guys, and I think in most places in Vietnam, most of them are really, really nice. You're not worried that they will get more or something.
If they know, especially if they know that you're a foreigner, they would really accommodate you. I mean, instantly you would have a different treatment.
Exactly.
Especially for us Filipinos, when you first look at us, we just look like the locals. But when you start speaking, they would know, oh, you're not Vietnamese, you're a foreigner, so they're gonna give you a special treatment or something like that.
Especially in the
even
province.
if they don't speak English in the provinces. good thing if you're just here in Hanoi. I mean,
Yes.
most people here could speak a little bit of English, but in the provinces that was a struggle.
Yes.
So I had to like learn the numbers first.
Yes, that's the first.
And saying how much.
Yes, yes. Those were the first words that I learned. So my students were the one teaching me like for this week, teacher, we will learn 1 to 5. You have to memorize that, and then the next week it's 6 to 10, and after that you can do it all.
Yes,
Right?
that's right. You just have to add up the words.
Yes.
Join.
Then, oh, teacher, this is mucham, this is like this, muchiu, and that's all you need to remember.
That's right.
Right? Then after that, I learned some new words and everything. And then I have to leave the job and I transferred to Halong. And then there is another struggle because there's winter and it's very cold.
So in Namding, it wasn't really cold.
When I
was
left
it-
Namding, it was cold but not really. And then when I transferred to Halong, it was around December. It was really cold. Like you would see smoke
Like
coming
smoke.
out from your mouth. You know that
like
oh
fog.
My God, the fog. I don't
It's
know
like
what
a winter breath. We call
Right.
it a winter breath. It's
And
really cold. Yes.
It's different. You know, it's a different place.
I felt excited when upon knowing that it's cold in Hanoi, but
Yes.
when you get to live with it, I mean, it's not fun at all. I just
Right.
I
But
don't like
I would prefer I prefer having cold weather
yeah.
than
the summer.
Yes.
The summer is intense here too.
exactly. So yeah, and then
So that's a new province again, new environment.
yeah.
How did you
but
adjust?
I'm still with at that time I was with my friends.
Oh,
like we were working
alright.
together and living together, and that's fine with me. I don't have any problems as long as I'm with them. And then finally we decided to move, and then I stayed in that city for 4 years.
Wow.
Yes, for 4 years. It was a nice city.
So like basically you spent there. You spent your entire Vietnam career
Yes,
there in how
yeah.
long mostly?
No,
right?
no, no.
4 years.
In Buon Matut. In
Ah,
Hanoi,
in
I was
Buon
just-
Matut.
I was just
Ah.
there for about
Ah,
4
so that was
months.
in Buon Matut. Yeah, okay.
Yeah, 4
where
years.
where we actually met because I joined the company she's in for 4 years. And that's when we met, right?
Yes, yes.
Yeah. I hope
during
we're talking about the
Cambridge.
same thing.
Yes,
Yes,
yes. So,
Yes.
and then actually it was not a plan. It was not in our plan to work there. It's just that when we were having a vacation during that holiday, because we couldn't go home, we just arrived. So we don't have enough money to travel home.
Right.
And so we decided to travel to Da Nang, and then we decided to go to that city, Buon Matut city. And then when I arrived there, I love the vibe. It's like the Philippines,
Yeah,
the
yeah.
countryside. I love the trees. I love the fresh city,
flowers.
right? It's a
It's
fresh
a city, but it has like lots of nature, green
Yes.
spaces, something like that.
Like it's really nice. The vibe, the coffee around.
yeah. I know you're so proud of your coffee when I went there.
Right,
Yeah.
and then-
the coffee is really good.
We decided to apply for a job there, and luckily we were accepted. The 3 of us were really on
Wow.
in the same company, and then we were working there until I left. And it was a really nice place to stay. You were
would you-
tired. You're tired at work, but at the same time you have time to enjoy yourself. There's a balance between life
Right,
and work,
right. So would you actually recommend living in Buon Matut for, expats or those who are planning
Yes,
to?
exactly.
Because most people would just think about Ho Chi Minh and Hanoi.
Yes, actually, if you're a person who wants to have a slow pace kind of
Right.
life,
Just got a laid back thing, but you're
Right.
still earning.
you're earning more.
Yeah.
Because you don't get to. It's not expensive there.
Yes.
To be honest.
The cost of living is really low, and then there are no temptations. I mean, there may be a little bit of temptation, but it's not like Hanoi compared to
Yes.
Hanoi. Like there's so many restaurants, bars,
Yes.
and yeah.
There are many restaurants, there are clubs, there are karaoke's, but
It's not
cheap.
so expensive.
Yes, it's really cheap.
Okay, I see.
And all the people there, the expats living there, because there's just a small community.
Oh.
So I remember during the time when we arrived there were just 5 of us. We're the only Filipinos there.
Wow. Because I've never even heard about Buon Matut.
I
Honestly.
just think so. So whenever my friends would ask me why I stayed there for 4 years, and that's
Because
the
it's
reason.
really far.
Right, it's really far. Like
Far.
it's about 2 hours from Hanoi by plane.
by plane.
By
We're not
plane,
talking
guys.
about
by
bus.
by plane, guys. It's 2
Right.
hours. It's far, right?
It is.
You've
Even
been
from
there.
Ho Chi Minh.
Right, it's about
many
maybe
hours
it's
from Ho Chi
shorter
Minh?
in Ho Chi Minh, 45 to an hour. But
By
we
plane
normally
again.
we normally go to Ho Chi Minh by bus, and it's 8 hours by bus.
8 hours, imagine that. By
So whenever
bus.
we go home, whenever we go back to the Philippines on that holiday, we normally go by bus, and that's about 8 hours travel.
Now, I'd like you to compare, living in Bonmatot because you loved it so much. How is it different from living here in Hanoi?
I was
And which do you
adjusting.
like better?
I was adjusting a lot. I mean, my life there was so different from the life I had here, but I chose, I chose a
I
new life,
chose.
a new path.
New
I
path? Good.
have to live with it.
Magmad rin ako.
Magmad din ako that. It's a decision, It was a hard decision. When I
Because it was your comfort zone.
it was my comfort zone, but then a person told me that I will not grow unless I would be
I wonder who that person was.
unless I would go out of my comfort zone. I mean, there's nothing to lose, right? So, but if I compare, I
Which do you
think
like better? Like now that you have lived for like a year here in Hanoi or so?
I actually loved living in Hanoi, I actually, before, I was kind of frustrated about the traffic because that's
Yeah.
one of the reasons why I don't want to come here because of the traffic. It's congested.
It's so difficult to commute, especially
Right.
for someone who doesn't drive a motorbike.
Yeah, but then living here, like I think for a year I was just staying at home because it was COVID.
Oh, yeah,
right.
yeah.
And then we just opened last March, last April. But then I'm able to roam around Hanoi and meet a lot of people actually and enjoy the life
Yeah.
that I have now. If you go out, you would be spending a lot of time on the road.
That's right. That's
Right.
one other thing.
And-
Even if you have your own motorbike,
Yes.
because still traffic jam here is really bad.
Exactly. But there, in the morning you have time to go out, have breakfast, have coffee, go home, cook for lunch, have a nap, then go to work. At night, even if we finish at about 9:30, we can go out, have noodles, chill outside, and then go home.
And you don't have to
Facebook.
think about traffic.
Yes,
Typical.
you can just even walk
Yeah, that's
walk
right.
home, right?
That's right.
It's very safe. I mean, I'm not saying that it's not safe. It's also safe in Hanoi. I usually go home late also, but it's very laid back. The life
Laid
is
back, right.
you're not worried about. I mean, you're not in a hurry. Here you have. If in Bonmatot, whenever my class starts at 4:30, I normally go to work at 4. I prepare about at 3:30. But here, I have to prepare earlier, guys, because if not, you will be stuck in the traffic. And here, if you go to far places, you need to ride a bus, and I hate riding a bus. You know that.
Really?
I
love it.
I feel dizzy.
Oh yeah.
I can't
Oh, yeah.
stand being inside a bus for a long time. I feel dizzy. So normally you have to ride grab bikes,
Grab bikes, right?
and it's very congested. It's dangerous sometimes.
It's kind of dangerous if you're not used to it. How these Grab drivers would, maneuver their motorbikes that
Yes.
quick. You're so close to each other. It is so scary at first, but then I got used to
Yes,
it eventually. So, do you have any regrets? Coming here to Vietnam to work?
No, not at
at
all.
all.
I have achieved, a lot in life. Coming to
Especially
Vietnam,
of
especially
life.
being able to help my family.
Yeah.
Helping. I mean, what's this? Realizing the dreams that I had for my siblings. So aside from that, being able to save money, being able to invest into something,
Wow.
being able to travel.
Do you have any regrets? When moving from Bonmatot to Hanoi?
At first,
Yes.
because I was really having I was attached to Bonmatot because I've been there before. At first, like I was thinking, is it a good choice? Is it worth coming here? Is it worth it? But I realized, I think I just have to live with the choices I made. Actually, I don't have anything to learn ahead. Like I wanted to learn this ahead because I've been coming back and forth to Hanoi, so somehow I've been able to see how is it like living here. It was more of would I be able to do this when I come to Hanoi?
But it was somewhat challenging and exciting at the same time.
Right, because remember that someone told me you have to do it. I know you can do it.
Someone told you.
Yeah, someone told
Someone.
Someone, guys.
So he, someone
who must not be named.
who must not be named. Dito tingnan mo na yung baho eh.
Tingnan na
Alon,
guys.
ano nga tawag ng kutsara.
Hindi siya mo-agree ang kutsara, guys. Hindi siya i-name. Pero, muna siya. So, murag, it's not about kanang regrets nga, I didn't know this and that. But, it's more of, kaya ba ninako, like, you know, getting up earlier than usual, new environment, new place. But, yeah, wala man good ka ng regrets kayo. One of the reasons why I traveled here is I transferred here is for me to be able to travel. And I was able to do that, remember?
That's right.
I wanted to have time for myself. I want this time for myself. So I think I there's no regret. It's about being grateful of the opportunity given.
Grateful.
Right. But you know, the doors open. I mean, your friends help you open the doors for you. You have to enter it alone.
Sulod-sulod yun.
Right. Because you magsulod alone, guys, and you have to, you know, fight the demons that will, guys. Nandiyo mga yawa, guys. Mga demons. Samasa. I mean, you have struggles and problems that will come along your way. So, di na makahelp mo mga friends, guys. So, ikaw na jud, ang mo. Ano ba? You have to be, and at the same time, coming here taught me how to be independent.
Yes. What was your greatest achievement here?
Go on.
Ever since you started, like from the moment you came in here until now.
I came abroad for the reason that I wanted to send my brothers and sisters to university, guys. Without kanang kuan.
Scholarships?
Without scholarships.
Wow, dato.
Dili, guys, I wanted to support them in their studies, guys, until they're able to finish university. So, before COVID, during COVID times, all of them graduated with.
Wow.
Right.
Even with COVID, right?
Right. Yes.
We had like shortened classes. We have fewer canceled even, and some centers closed. So you were still able to support them.
Yes, that was 2020, right?
2022.
So yes, two of my siblings graduated. That's my biggest achievement. That's actually letting them finish their studies, their universities, was like a gift to my parents. Because, I mean, parents would always want their kids to finish their studies. Diba? And then, because we're not rich, so I really wanted to help them. You know?
You're such a good daughter.
Oh my God, guys! At tayo dyan, recommendation sa mga laki diha. Sige sa mga eskwela, guys. Karon free na ko, guys.
Scholarship opening room.
Wala ko pa eskwela, guys. But yeah, so they were like, I didn't invest in houses, in anything. They were my investments in 4 years. No, so the last 4 years I stayed here, they were my investments. So, like, people would ask me nga, huy, ani sa abroad niya, walay tarong balay niya, uli kay way kwarta, because they didn't know that I had to support them. And I don't need to shout that to the world. I don't care, guys, kasi nagpaunta mo sa Western Union akong resibo, guys, ng perpejong daghana, guys, na way maato, guys. So, but then at the end of the day, when I saw them having their toga picture and bachelor's degree, guys, lamig sa feeling, guys, nga, bahal na ka utang-utang, misaw na, guys, ikaw man na feeling, guys. Then, I'm able to kanang help my parents pay their utang. At that time, I actually asked my papa, nung undang na siya, work ka na bang retire na early? Because I can support them na.
Yes.
My kuan ako mga igsoon kaya naman nag-eskwela, so kaysa pa ako supportan, so gusto ko nga ma-enjoy sa akong papa ang kanabang life nga na ay nag-work ra diya siya na, but then di man siya ganahan, guys. Sige, okay lang. Ano ba ka na,
at least there's no pressure anymore with, you know, earning.
Yeah. Karon, you have to work on another project. Ingana ba? I mean, that's one of the things I'm thankful for. Ano ba ang imong mga dreams?
And these are just things that we imagined, you know, in the past that we would achieve. And now you are in it, right?
So, di ka ka-imagine, guys, makapaman, my God, guys, guys. It's nice to be able to give your family what they need. Because my parents and my brothers are not that demanding when it comes to money. They
Like,
only
it's just
ask,
you like willingly would
like for
sponsor.
example, they need money because for apprenticeship. So it's not my brother who would ask me or my sister who would ask me directly. It has to go through my parents because they would be so shy to ask me money. Good thing was kanang wala na sayang
They
akong
exceeded your expectations.
oo kanang graduated with flying colors.
Wow.
I mean,
Congrats.
not totally nga kanang mga summa cum laude. Wala ka na guys. What did you go to dream na guys? Because when you're in the outside world,
Yeah, it doesn't matter anymore.
doesn't matter, guys. Trust me.
You're right.
I mean,
nobody would ask for it actually.
Yes.
And it wouldn't be a basis for your promotion or
yes,
something.
exactly. And I'm happy na wala nagbalik-balik og eskwela. They know that I sent a lot of
You've
money.
been raised so well by your parents.
Mga laki dira. No kanang ingana jud na basta mo dako kag kapobrehon ba.
Yes.
Na akong want magud na in the future nga if matigulon akong parents kami tama sa akong upat sa magsuon magtinabangay mi, it's not that they will depend on me. Kana bang ang burden nata na nako because
Yes,
ako'y na
yes.
work, ako'y na ani. Di ko gusto ko nga shared responsibilities. Maybe the future is we have to help each other.
Yes,
Kay
yes.
dili ta gusto na mo balik ta before, di ba? Nga anita magsigitag pangutang magsigitag ana. So gusto ko nga ma-experience ninyo akong na-experience nga I can buy whatever I want with the money I worked for. Anang di ko gusto nga makagamit kag ingon ani tungod kay gitagaan ka ni ani.
Yes.
Ana ba? Gusto ko nga ako sa inan nga lami kay sa feeling nga you will be able to achieve your dreams using your own money. Later on when you have your own job, dili ko mangayo sa imong money. But I want you to use that money to our parents. Okay, I have my own job, I can work and I can
Yes.
earn money. Why would you give me? Lah, so ko guys. Kung dito guys, utang dito.
Bayad eh. What can you advise to those who are wanting to come here and those who would want to work here?
Leap of
So,
faith.
who are
Good.
just yeah,
No, leap of faith. If you think that you can do it, then why not? Diba? Kanang try jud kay there's nothing to lose. You just have to work hard when you come here and then of course magpuliso jud ta guys. Pero
homesickness.
we are Filipinos, diba?
Yeah.
We're resilient. If you think nga kaya nimo niya, dapat kanang buo ang loob mo na. Buo ang loob mo. Hindi pa rin ang half-hearted ra ka ba nga
Yeah.
mura ganahan ko dito kay mo sulay-sulay ra ko kay nasuya ko. Dili ka pwede maging ana nga nasuya ko. Dapat nasuya ka.
But you can actually try. I mean, I'm sorry, but I was also a bit half-hearted when I came here.
mo
Yeah.
ba?
Yeah.
Yeah.
When I came here, like, I was thinking, if I have, like, a backup plan, actually, I was thinking, what if it wouldn't work out? What if I wouldn't find a job? I actually had a return ticket.
Mo ba?
Yeah, and then I had, like, a backup plan. So if I don't get a job or if I don't like living here, then I just go back to the Philippines.
I don't want to. Ang ako mong good mindset is different. I don't want to go to the Philippines nga dili ko successful. Nga wala ko nakakitag trabaho because kada bitong I don't know kada yana siya gagawin na guys. Bahala mag-inaon sa mga bawo dito diri.
Okay, if it doesn't turn out well, then I can just go home.
Ako ang good kay.
I had like 3 months to decide and I could go home.
Ako good kay
But
laban-laban
I
ako,
loved
guys.
it here. You would eventually, adjust, adapt, and then, get over the homesickness. Naapa siguro you would lose by not trying.
But kadang para dapat wala kay what ifs. Na dapat kada ba if you feel like trying, you try it.
That's
Para
right.
di ba? Kanang
So you don't get stuck at the what if,
later
state
on
of
in
mind.
life if wala na yung chance, di ba? Kanang you would have
Maybe
this
too late.
thought nga what if. Matis bati na guys.
And that's
Sure na
it
jud
for
ka.
today.
Sure na jud ka.
Wala na ko'y question. That's it for today. I'll see you guys next time. Bye!
1 hour and 7
Naraog
minutes.
ko pa din sa akong guest today.
Handa? No. Kani.
Wala sa kong hey everyone.
Dapat hey everyone, what kita hey ka din.
Hey everyone sa ako.
Taraw ko sila kayo na masayip kikag pronounce na. Dapat dili dito masayip pronounce ka lang kikag viewers no.
Alright, for today's video, I have invited one of...
Oh, di ba rin magsalagyan? Kaya sa din first timer ka kadi mag-pause ng ito aminos na. Babes. Diba nagtama rin sa behind the scenes sa pinaka. Sige na tayo mag-inom na lang ko diya para inom.
Smile na po. Isa ako interview mo. Hindi ko kamo.
Unsa man ako interviewer guys, ako nag-homework.
Wala ko ka-prepare.
Dili, wala siya na-ikog na ako guys. Wala siya nag-prepare, wala questions. Wala prepare introduction. Unsa man ni guys? Mag-video pa tani? Sige.
For today's video, I've invited one of my friends here in Vietnam, and we're gonna talk about life of an ESL teacher here in Vietnam.
Hi everyone! Sa mga viewers!
Oh, what are their viewers? Hi, Usara.
Isa na mong viewer dahil kaluis sa daan.
Mama.
Hi, Isara!
Hulo kada sentence ano kay katawa. Masukubi akong mama mo na si katawa.
Oh, dapat serious dahil
Wala si mama, ay si katawa si mama.
Oh, sige, again sa di kay seryoso din. Seryoso din ka, mas ako ang one viewer. Basta di ka mo view. Hello everyone! So for today's video, I'm inviting one of my friends. I'm invite naman good. Nasayo pa na yung Sarungan siya na ito mga guys, akong voice, ingani ra dyan guys, mga transgender.